Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
I know, gumption. Welcome to episode 46 of the M&T podcast.
Nice.
Yes. Good podcast, this one, I feel.
Yeah, I really like it. We talk about a bunch of stuff. We talk about candy culture. We talk about the next series of the M&T podcast. We do have a new way to contact us, which you'll learn about very, very soon. And all other bits and pieces.
It's a random selection of questions from people.
Yep.
It goes all over the
Very
place.
enjoyable.
But yeah, there is a couple of really good subjects that we get kind of meaty, we get into. And it's good.
Talking about meat, we got a barbecue.
We do. So we're going to wrap up here. Enjoy this episode. We're going to go have a barbecue. Send us the emoji. You'll hear it halfway through. And I guess we will see you in the episode.
See ya!
See ya!
What fucking time do you call this?
This is an 11 a.m. pod, my dear.
11Zs.
Yep, this is 11Zs.
So instead of being bribed with alcohol to sit down and talk to you, you've just made a coffee.
I've made you a coffee. Well, there will be alcohol, but we're not starting with alcohol.
Okay.
Today is a coffee and Cañas pod.
Coffee and Cañas pod.
I think it's good.
I like that.
That kind of fits with the Spanish, have a bit of a sit down and a catch up kind of vibe. It's either coffee or Cañas or both.
But maybe what should happen is that the coffee's not quite like, it's like an espresso.
Yeah, it would usually be smaller.
Get that shit out of the way.
I've made a very typical British instant coffee mug.
You mug.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm alright. Welcome to episode 46.
Oh my god, we're over halfway to 50 from 40.
Yes, we are. And I think we will talk a little bit about, obviously, the upcoming milestone pod, which is episode 50.
Yeah, but I bet you've had some...
We've had a few things come through about like suggestions, ideas about what we should get up to. I'm sure you've had some thoughts yourself as well.
Absolutely, I have indeed. Very excited.
But I am going to open today by breaking the news that I have made an email address for the podcast.
Oh, right.
I promised last week that I would.
Didn't know.
No, you do know this. This is going to become the go-to place to send us ideas, suggestions, stories to share, questions, pictures, whatever you want to send us, really.
That'd be interesting.
Just so that it doesn't always have to be that you have to find one of us and DM us or get us
Amazon
whatever.
gift cards.
Yeah, whatever.
Like digital money.
Yeah. Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Can you just send that? I don't know. I'm naive on the whole cryptocurrency
you can
thing.
send flight vouchers by email. Yeah.
So anyway, the email address is themntpodcast@gmail.com.
Well, shit.
That is the THEMM and AND, only because annoyingly you can't use the and symbol in an email address. So it's AND T podcast PODCAST at gmail.com. I've made that far more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah,
the M&T podcast at gmail.com.
You heard it here first.
We might need a jingle for that, just saying.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay.
The M&T podcast at gmail.com.
Nailed it. There you go. Sorry, Chris Marsden, but you've got
competition.
You're out. So that is live now. I prefer the idea of us using that sort of when we end the season. It does that mean that between the seasons and when we start season 2, people can just send us stuff, because we do have some ideas about what we want to do in season 2, which may mean people email us more rather than just answering a question on Instagram.
Yeah, and I think we can, because last week we kind of held off on talking about season 2 because we were talking about episode 50, so maybe we could talk about season 2 today.
Okay. Well, what are your initial ideas?
Oh, okay.
As we roll towards the end of season 1, which started in a hotel room in Dubai and ends in a living room. Well, it will end at Pikes.
Yeah.
God knows where in Pikes, but it will end at Pikes.
Yeah, this was my... that's where I had some ideas. I was like, we could do it in Sunny's bathtub.
Yeah. That is a noise nightmare. Just going to say it.
Is it a bit echoey?
But also, if you've got the balls in there, it's just going to be constant. You know that noise of plastic balls.
Oh, fucking fun sponge! Jesus Christ!
Well, I hate to be a fun sponge, but it's a podcast. First and foremost, you need to be able to hear what people are saying.
Fine.
But it's a good idea. I like it.
Or we could be like up on the top deck of the restaurant.
I had somebody send me a message that was like, "Why don't you try and be up on the top deck?
The top.
Because then you've got the view back over San Antonio and stuff."
Lovely. Or we could do it in the table that's in the pool.
You like the idea of doing the table?
I just think that's quite. Why do I want to say synonymous? That's not right.
It is. That table is synonymous with pikes.
Oh, okay. I was right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
One with the words.
So good with my words.
TiffanyBennettWriter.com.
It's not. It's Tiffany Dennett. Tiffany.
Who's this Mr. Dennett?
That's my other husband. Tiffany-Bennett.com. Yeah. So
the table. I mean,
or just on one of the lounges.
It also depends.
Or in the tennis court.
Or
in one of the rooms.
I mean, I'm literally going to smash my coffee into your face. It does also depend on what room we end up in as well, because we could end up in a really cool room that's got a perfect spot and stuff. And yeah, exactly. So, but it will be there. Anyway, we weren't going to talk about episode 50. We were going to talk about what happens after episode 50.
Oh, yeah.
So, season 2 of the M&T podcast. What do you think what are your initial thoughts on what you think that we might do differently, or that we might add or remove?
Well, we've had this discussion a little bit, and we don't want to go into like ASMR or anything like that, but we were thinking about bringing some food into the podcast. Specifically hot sauces.
Yeah.
So we could do like wings and hot sauces, or hot sauce roulette, or hot sauce
You don't need
haberdashery.
You don't need to have already come up with the slogan for it. So you want to bring in potentially hot sauce.
Yeah.
Onto the pod. I think it's quite good.
Or ice cream.
Or it may need to be both.
Yeah.
I think so. We'll obviously keep the rosé vibe.
Yeah.
I think people like hearing us open the bottle. In fact, we've in previous episodes, we've had people go, "Why didn't we get the pop and the pour?"
Have they?
Well, that was a long time ago. We learned quickly if we're having a bottle, people like to hear the pop and pour.
Yeah, I think we maybe need to stick to rosé, because unless we get gifted.
Which
Hint,
absolutely happy to
nudge,
take.
nudge.
mtpodcast@gmail.com.
Unless we get gifted, I think we should stick to bottle of rosé, because that is our standard.
Most of the time we do. It's just that sometimes we just don't have rosé in the house, and we go, "Oh shit, what are we going to do?" So we're not having a rosé today.
We have rosé though.
I know, but we're not having it.
No, we're not. No.
So I think, the time between season 1 and season 2 is a time for us to get creative and get thoughts, but we're just having initial.
But yeah, I like having the bottle of wine.
I think it's a great idea that we bring in, because we've got quite a selection of hot sauces, and people may start to recommend others, or might send us a quick little hot sauce.
We might have to do that at the end of the pod.
Yeah, because if you do it too early,
because you're going to ruin the taste of the rosé.
You may not be able to speak, which again is kind of important on a podcast.
Yeah, so I don't know I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad one to bring in.
I'm happy to trial it though.
Maybe other elements.
I think maybe it's literally we do the pod as we normally would. Mm-hmm. And then we go, okay, this is the last 10 minutes of the pod. Yeah. Or we end by doing a hot wing. Yeah. That's a lot more to prep before...
That is a lot to prep.
Before sitting down and doing the pod.
Maybe there's an easier way. We'll figure it out though. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, this is the thing. Right now we've got many weeks ahead of us before we start season 2.
Yeah.
But we'd love for people to send through their ideas. What do you think it would be funny to listen to us do? And if you are a YouTube watcher, what works on YouTube that does also work only for the ears as well? We have to bear that in mind. It's a podcast.
Yes, it is a podcast.
It
first and foremost.
It's the M&T podcast @gmail.com.
It is indeed. I think if you say something 3 times, people start to remember it.
Or they switch off and go, "You're an annoying twat." I'm happy to, go either way.
Annoying twat.
Anyway, I'll take it. I've literally just had a live question. Do you want it?
Yeah.
Would you rather end hunger or hatred? That's from Shaz Coley. Literally, she's just sent
she's
it.
just messaged me one too.
Would you rather end hunger or hatred?
Hunger.
I think hunger as well. I don't.
Because I think, you got to hate something
Ending
in life.
hatred doesn't put food on the table.
No, it does not. But let's end hunger. I've got one too, which is loading because my phone's being weird today.
Okay.
So give that a second. But no, you got to have that. You got to have some emotion in your life. I think you got to hate something.
You can't love if you don't hate. Yin and yang, isn't the whole like?
Yeah, maybe. That's it. All right, Instagram.
Pretty. No, I don't think that exists. But like, you can't have the good times without the bad times. I think love and hate is maybe too extreme.
Yes.
It's never nice to hate or be hated. But I think let's take it one step at a time. If I can end hunger, at least some people have stopped dying. Then maybe we can work on people's hatred and unnecessary hatred after that. I think if people are full, they're less likely to hate things anyway.
True, hangriness is a thing.
If you're hangry, you're likely to hate. If you're full, who has ever had like a carb coma and said, "Oh, I bloody hate so and so"? You don't, do you? You just go, I'm full of happiness. So if you end hunger, I think you end hatred anyway.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks. So my one from Shaz Curley is, would you rather get a paper cut every time you turned a page or bite your tongue every time you eat?
I'll take the paper cut.
Because I don't read books.
I don't read, but I do eat. And if you eat,
you end hunger.
You end hunger. And if you end hunger, you end hatred. So
biting your tongue's a bitch.
It is horrible, especially if you do it when enjoying hot sauce. Imagine the pain you get.
I've got like a paper cut on my thumb right now, which is actually really annoying.
It was a grate, wasn't it?
Well, I grated my finger. But it feels like very much like a paper cut. And I just had a shower, and it's just like it is the most annoying thing.
They're awful, aren't they? I think you put paper cuts and like ulcers and blisters all in the same kind of pot of small, annoying, but you can't ignore them. If anything, they're worse than like a big injury or like a big cut to yourself, which you can bandage up and you can almost to a degree ignore.
Yes.
But a paper cut on the finger or a little cut on the tongue or something like that, you just can't leave it alone. I hate paper cuts.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, dear. There you go. You hate paper cuts.
So, I wrote down a few things to talk about before we got onto questions, but we kind of just jumped in because we had a live question.
I only have like one, so
I have a few.
It's pretty chill.
This is what happens when you don't do all of your questions every week. I've got some in the bank, love.
Okay, well, you get way more questions than I do.
I didn't this week, but, well, I think it differs week to week. But because most weeks you go, got any more? And I go, yeah, but I'm not going to ask them. I have got, some randoms in the bank. But we've ticked off that we've got an email address. What is it?
The mntpodcast@gmail.com.
Smashed it. We've talked about the fact that episode 50 is going to happen at Pikes, and we've got some ideas, but we're open to more ideas. We are preparing for season 2, but we definitely want some ideas for that as well. What should we do? What should we get rid of? Or, God forbid, do people go, just don't do another one?
Or
be one of those people.
Who do we get rid of? Matt or Tiff?
Yeah, well, we can't get rid of either of us because we're now the M&T unless I replace you with my father and it becomes the Matt and Tim podcast, which no one would listen to.
My fucking God.
My dad would listen to it.
Oh my God, he totally would.
But yeah, no one wants to hear what me and my dad would end up talking about.
Well, off the top of your head, 3 topics. What would you and Tim talk about?
How many steps he took yesterday.
Yep.
Why it's important to have a high interest savings account versus a low interest current account. And the state of the global economy generally. So if you're interested in that podcast, guys, let me know and I'll make the M&T podcast 2 at gmail.com.
2. Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
So anyway, it goes on to another thing that I thought was relevant to the pod that we're doing today, and I wanted to discuss with you the Caña culture.
I love a Caña.
We've talked about the Caña culture, and I think as we've sort of gone through spring and we're feeling sort of the summer vibes, and because things are opening in Ibiza a bit more now, there is the Caña culture. But we've learned since we've been even here, not everybody sort of knows what a Caña is or what that Caña culture is. So what is it, Tiff?
And there is something else I found out, which I will come back to. So I think Spain is the only country where people will have like a mini beer, unless you're in like doing like Belgian beers where you can only have a third of a beer because they're so strong. Here, people order a Caña or a cañita, which is even smaller, and it's a small beer, so it's either like 20 cl or 33 cl.
Yeah, it's between half to a third, or a third to a half of a pint. In fact, I don't even think it gets to a half pint.
No,
it?
It's 20 cl or 33.
It's like quarter
so
to a
33
third.
is a can. So if you poured a can in, that would be
so.
that. So and they're like, you do that on a little walk, and you just sit down and have a Caña, and that's your that's your thing. Like, you very rarely see people drinking pints, and if you do, you go tourist.
You're definitely an English
or if
tourist.
we're on it,
Yeah.
and we're like, fuck the Cañas.
Well, I order pints if I know I'm going to have more than one Caña.
Yeah, because it's not worth it.
But it is worth it, because again, one of the benefits of the Caña is because it's small, it stays cold and fresh.
Yes.
And because it's it's very quick that it's just a Caña that another one just gets brought over.
Yes, which
because
is
you don't
dangerous.
order a Caña of anything either. You don't go, I'll have a Caña of, or what have you got on tap? It's just a Caña.
It's like that's ordering like a house beer.
It's house
beer.
beer.
What I noticed yesterday or whenever we were in Ibiza town is that a Caña, which was the 33 cl one, was €2.70. It was in a tourist destination. We did not go one street back. But then if you ordered a Mayu, what's those beers? The red ones, Mahau?
Yeah.
That was €2, but maybe that came in a can and it wasn't on draft, so I don't know. But I do feel that because when people come along as a tourist, they might not look at a menu and they've
heard our pod and they've gone, oh, we should just get one of these Cañas.
Get a Caña. Yeah. I feel like they could get duped.
I think in a tourist place you can do.
Yeah.
If you go to a locally Spanishy little place, you're always going to get the shit local beer.
Yeah,
and
I've also never really seen it's only because I checked this place menu, because everything's on a QR code now, so I can read more menus for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I checked it, and I was like, oh, you can get a cañita or a Caña, so you can get the 20 cl or you can get the 33 cl. So yeah, I find it interesting, but I like a Caña because it's not too heavy. Like a pint's pretty hefty.
But as you say, it's part of. It's just a part of taking when you're out on a walk and you just go, oh, should we just stop?
It also doesn't matter what time you order one.
No, I mean that's why I thought coffee and Caña, they kind of go together.
I do think we need Caña glasses.
Well, I've got out goblets for us to have our Cañas in.
Like pipe,
yeah, just because they look nice, don't they? But yes, you can get nice little Caña glasses, and yeah, most people you would probably just have one, maybe two, and then you carry on with your day. And in a proper little Spanish place, they're €1.50.
Yes.
They're cheaper than asking for a Diet Coke.
Definitely.
And they're just kind of nice.
Yeah,
to have,
definitely. And like if I go out to work away from home, in the afternoon, like you can have a Caña. Like you can't do that. I don't feel like you could do that in England.
Do you know what I remember actually? When I was training a team at Apple in London, so a big team full of a lot of British new employees, but also there was some team members that were over from Europe and things. We actually had to remind sort of some of the European team members that on your lunch break you can't go and just have a beer and then come back to work. Because
yeah, I totally would here.
I remember it because it was in the summer. It was in central London, so the weather's really good. And where we were doing the training, you've got multiple pubs within
so many pubs.
spitting distance, And obviously, being at Apple, it's all it's very social and it's very laid back and chilled stuff anyway. But we did have to sort of remind people that culturally,
can't even go for a half.
you couldn't. Like, that was like a big no-no.
Like, for me, I'm just like, why not?
But think, right?
That's
Because I think we already see the value in that sort of the social aspect of it and stuff. But I don't think that in the UK, in sort of your traditional workplaces and things, that you could get away with, should we pop out of the office and grab a beer and come back to the office? Like, I can see...
It's not normal, no. But
how lovely is it that here, I think that would be a very normal thing, is a catch up over a beer. Yeah. I would take team members out and let's go grab a Caña and a bit of a catch up and how you're getting on and things like that, and then head back to work.
That's because people in England, they have a half a beer and they're like, out for the weekend.
It quickly
see you in 3 days.
A slippery slope.
But like, I now look back at working for Wicked in Dubai, and like, we'd go, like, it was rare, but like, should we go out for lunch on a Thursday?
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd probably end up finishing early then. You'd go out for a late lunch.
Yeah, because you'd go out for lunch and then go, we can't go back to work.
Yeah.
Because we've all got the shots in.
Yeah.
I've been out with that team.
That office is strong.
But I like it.
Yeah,
I've just checking.
Actually,
like, Caña doesn't translate to anything. It's...
No, because beer is cerveza.
Yeah. I just think it's
and
really
if you
good.
order a cerveza, you get a pint.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So if you order a beer, like literally, I'll have a beer.
You get a pint.
It comes in a pint. You have to ask specifically for the Caña.
But they might ask you like pequeño, like a small little one.
I have never been asked what size Caña do you want.
No.
Not
but
once.
if you have I have. If you want a small one or a large one, we did at Can Cosme, and then we were like large, so we got the bigger Cañas.
Oh yeah, I guess they did, didn't they? Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right that is a thing that tourists could be caught out by in a touristy destination where their Cañas been given a little bit of a premium. It's very similar to the advice that we gave people of, if you're going to your little local shop to buy beers, the ones in the fridge are always Heineken's. They're their imported labels that you would recognise, and you go, well, it's cold, and you buy that can, and it's a 33, and that will be €2.50 or something. Or if you take some beers off the shelf, like the beers that I'm about to pour for us to have a little Caña, work out at 20 cents a can, but they're not in the fridge.
Say that again. How much?
20 cents a can.
Do you know how much a Monster is? €1.70.
Well, you have...
beers. Six beers instead.
Seven beers? 8 beers.
Oh wow, quick maths.
8 beers would be €1.60. 8 beers for €1.60. But this is the thing, like, it's a local, it's not got a label, but it's beer, and it's good beer, and it's refreshing, and actually that's, when it comes to the Caña culture, it doesn't matter what the beer is.
I do feel like the cans are thinner.
But the material...
I feel like they feel cheaper.
That's not what I buy a beer for. Like,
no, exactly.
I don't go, quality can, I'll keep that one. No one does that.
No, I'm just saying, I actually do.
They probably do, because
like they are cheaper.
They've got to, cut back their costs somehow.
But also, I was so glad of that find.
Yeah.
Because we were like buying 60 cents cans.
Which you think, that's good, that's a decent price,
How much is Tesco value beer? And does it taste okay?
I have no idea, but it's not good either. But this stuff is not, it's not made, well, it is made cheap, but it doesn't taste like you're drinking
it tastes like a lovely beer.
Crap beer.
Also, if you do a lemon Fanta Shandy.
Absolutely. Limon Fanta.
Fanta Limon.
Yeah. Then, you're getting that wonderful feeling of the culture of daytime drinking and a nice cold beer and stuff, but it costs you sod all.
Yeah, someone tell me how much, I want to know how much like Tesco and Asda beer is in comparison.
Okay.
Because you don't get like a Roski beers.
No, like the supermarkets don't have their own brand of beers.
No.
So they're all still made properly by
brand.
a brewery that does its beer, which, I'm sure like Tesco is actually from someone. But
do you know like paracetamol?
Yeah, they don't make their own paracetamol, but they're labelling it on the cheap, and so they're buying it for as cheap as possible. But anyway, as Ibiza starts to open up and tourists start to come in, which I think we should get on to talking about, this is our best piece of consumer advice. Ask for a Caña, one street back.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Have it at any time of day. And if you're buying beers in the shop, don't buy out of the fridge unless you need a cold beer in that instant. But if you can get away with taking it back to your apartment or to your hotel and put it in the fridge for later, take them off the shelf. And it doesn't need to be a brand that you recognise. The
Top
beer will
tips
still be
from
good.
M&T.
This is what we do.
Love it.
On that note, shall I open us a Caña?
Yes, please.
All right. And just like that, I've got the Cañas.
Magic!
So, to give a little context, as we were just saying, this is by a brand called Steinberg, and the beer is just called Suave,
Smooth.
which is Spanish for smooth. Is it Spanish?
Yeah.
Because Steinberg does not sound like a Spanish brand,
No.
but everything else on the can is Spanish, so it's got to be local because it's so cheap.
Suave.
It's 5%, it's cold.
It translates in Google as gentle, but I think it also
It means smooth. It means smooth. Remember when we said to Ed, like, what does savage mean?
Oh, yeah.
Then he was like, well, like savage also means like brutal, and like, you know, you can figure out what some of these translations are. I don't think that this beer is called gentle, but smooth would make sense.
Yes. So, give me 8.
So, there's the sound. And
I don't know why I made
if you want, and this is a thing, like I've now picked up a couple of our gin goblets, so if you want to make a 20-cent beer, just feel that little bit classier.
Weren't we going to do this with wine?
Yes, so there is a bottle of wine in our local supermarket, which comes in like one of those big 5-litre plastic.
It looks like
bottles.
oil.
The oil usually
Like
would
cooking
come in.
oil.
Yeah, if you're buying oil en masse, it comes in one of those, and it works out, I think, at like 80 cents a litre. For
litre?
Yeah, for 5 litres of wine. Now, I think you can easily predict that's not going to be the sweetest, smoothest, most enjoyable rosé. But we said, if we then got a nice, what they called?
Carafe.
A nice carafe, and poured it, and that's how it was presented at a table when you've got a barbecue or something going on.
People wouldn't know.
And you have nice glasses, which we do, which maybe have a little ice cube in or something, and people would pour it from a carafe rather than from the
Vat.
from the big old vat that you've bought. Again, I think what we're doing is we're tricking our head into thinking you're having something far more expensive
And
and
that's what
luxurious than you
every
are.
restaurant in the world does to normalise charging ridiculous amounts for food. And normally small bits of food at that.
Like, I know I'm hammering this home, but that's a 20-cent
Okay, we
beer,
got it. We got it, Matt.
right? And I'm enjoying that just as much as I would. How much was a pint in Dubai? 10 quid?
10 euros. Yeah.
About
That's
10 euros
disgusting.
for a pint.
Like, that hurts me now. On a happy hour, it was 6 quid.
And we would go, cool, let's get them in.
Yeah.
Mental.
Thank fuck for the
Look at the
entertainer.
world, our world, and how much it's flipped.
Well, I find this funny, like, we obviously have this trip to Pikes booked.
I haven't pressed record here at all.
At all?
No.
Since the start?
No, since I came back.
We're going to tell them.
Yeah.
Or we could use that sound.
My apologies.
Shall we just carry on?
No, you would have got the sound. Now you've got good sound again. So yeah,
You
we'll just carry on.
muggle.
This is what happens when
So,
you bring beers onto
What
the.
I
onto
was,
the
you're
pod.
more excited about
So
the beer.
sorry, guys.
So, what I was saying is, we've got this stay at Pikes booked for the end of May, which we figured out is 6 nights, not 5. It's 6.
6 nights at Pikes.
But it was obviously paid for 2 years ago when we were both making more money
Well, that's it.
and had
We
more
were on Dubai
expendable
money at the
cash,
time.
and we were on Dubai money. But now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not, obviously it's paid for, it's done, it feels like a free holiday now, but like we would not dream of doing that right now.
It is. We do talk about this a little bit, don't we? About how I think we talk about it a lot when we discuss visitors coming and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Tourist monies.
well, sort of, and also when people are in holiday mode, sort of what you see as a good price and what you don't. Like living here, as you do when you're living anywhere, you want to get the most for your money. You want to make sure that you're not getting ripped off and that you're finding, your options and stuff. And whether that's around going out for a meal or getting a drink or whatever it may be. But when you're in holiday mode, going somewhere that's just really nice and really pretty, I'm thinking like Chiringuito Blue for a glass of rosé. Is a lovely little bar to sit in. It's in perfect position. You can see the sea. You're on the beach basically. The glasses are beautiful. It's a lovely environment. You're going to get really good service. But you're going to spend upwards of €10 for a glass of rosé,
I was going to say 8. Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing, around there.
But that's how much it would be.
Cocktails are definitely 10.
And when you're on
15.
holiday, that's lovely. But that's something that, like we've said, we need to be really aware of when people are on holiday. That they might want to do that. They might not want us to go, oh no, don't go there. We're going to take, because they're on holiday, so they want to enjoy the lovely things.
What we'll do is go grab a bottle of wine from the shop for $1.70 and sit out the front of Chiringuito.
Yeah. We'll just do the cheaper alternative. But what I love is, in this trip that we've got coming up to Pikes, it was a holiday that we booked and planned when we were thinking about it being holiday mode. It was supposed to be the first thing we did when we landed here.
Yeah, we were having that break to then get into moving.
The idea was
to
to do
country.
a week's holiday and be in holiday mode and then switch into, okay, we now live here. I'm excited that for probably the first time in quite a while, I can afford to switch my head into holiday mode and go,
ready for it.
This was paid for 2 years ago, like when I was on Apple Dubai money.
And
so it's all cool, and I can, I'm supposed to be here to enjoy myself. And
the hyper-organised me, because actually Pike's payment plan is 50% deposit, 50% when you check in. Yeah. But I was like, can I just pay for it all, please, at the time? Yeah. So, really, we're winning at life.
Yeah. We'll just have to keep an eye on the bar bill. We
also have a bar tab, because when we moved the holiday, that one of their bribes for not cancelling and actually just moving it was having a little bit of a bar tab. Lovely. So that'll get us about 3 drinks.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first 15 minutes at Pikes covered.
No, you get a check-in gin and tonic.
It's the first 30 minutes at Pikes covered.
I love the check-in gin and tonic.
It's a nice thing.
Because you go put all your stuff away and you're like, we're going to the pool now.
And they just bring you a gin and tonic immediately.
It. Cute one as well, big goblet.
Yeah. But I think these are nice ways of enjoying the small things.
Absolutely.
Which is good.
Yeah, nice. But until then, 20 cents Cañas.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did, while we were just sort of discussing that, we were alluding to Ibiza sort of opening up a little bit. Do you want to give an update? I did have one question come through from Kerry that was, how's Ibiza doing? I do want to come over and visit. Do I need a vaccine passport right now and stuff? So why don't you give us, because this is not a COVID podcast. But what's Ibiza going through in the last week or so?
So super quickly, they've actually extended third countries from coming in with no reason. So that's anyone that's not in Europe. They can't come in without a valid reason until the end of May.
Okay, so you can't just pop over unless you're within the EU.
Unless you're within the EU.
Okay.
So so actually people coming from there might be a way around it. Maybe if people fly into another country and then come in. I'm not sure. But without a valid reason, you can't get here if you're from England or
what
from
are valid
Dubai.
reasons? Is valid reasons family, job, that are unwell, or work? So if you turn
a funny thing is, a house viewing is allowed.
Buying. I remember that was a weird one, because if you own a property here, that's not a good of enough reason. But if you're looking to buy a property here, that was. I'm not sure if that still is.
So much though. You'll probably have to prove proof of funds.
I do remember seeing that. It was So if you are if you're going to be featuring on A Place in the Sun, you could come in.
Let's do Place in the Sun. Yeah, so that's still extended, which is a bit rubbish, because everyone we know is from either the UK or Dubai.
Yeah.
So,
but that's only till the end of May.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think anybody was really having high hopes on at some point in May I'll get to Ibiza. I think a lot of people have got an eye on June.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So yeah, fingers crossed it doesn't get extended again, because that's one of the things. But the official state of alarm ends on the 9th of May, and so many places are opening now. Hostel La Tour opens today, I think. So beautiful sunsets on the rocks, and they've got their DJ program straight back in. So there is someone DJing the sunset every day. So many restaurants and beach clubs are opening again. Beach House is opening next week. Obviously, Chiringuito Blue is opening next week as well. Like, loads on Las Salinas Beach are opening.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's kind of the normal things are coming back round again. Pikes is opening on the 20th of May.
So just I mean, yeah.
But
long story
Ibiza
short,
Rocks
there are places
Bar haven't said.
They haven't said a word.
We just need a pitta.
I do need a chicken pitta. Rest assured, guys, the second that Ibiza Rocks Bar say this is our opening, I'm going.
Oh,
It's
okay.
happening.
Yeah.
I'll drive over there. I'll be the first
I think
person.
even Mambo opens mid-May.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just said.
So I tried to book a table.
But like, so the island is opening up, and it is really good. I think I saw yesterday sort of our numbers.
Are really good.
There's like 3 people on the island that are currently in hospital because of anything that's COVID related.
I think it's 9. I think it's just got under double figures. But like some of them haven't even they've tested negative, but they're just recovering. So they're
at home,
but they've been tested. So yeah, it's actually really good at the moment. We're obviously playing it very safe. There definitely are tourists here at the moment.
Feels like there's a few Germans and stuff.
So like a passport isn't going to be ready. Like they said that's not going to be ready until June, July.
There's a cat outside our house.
Screaming. Then like a passport's not going to be ready until June, July. But I think that will allow anyone in Europe to travel anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
But Spain are kind of spearheading that.
Yeah.
Because they need the tourism.
Well, this is it. Spain, it's not just about British tourism. Spain relies on European tourism.
So many Italians, Germans specifically.
Europeans travel to Spain more than anywhere else for their holidays. It's sort of going into the summer, there is so much relying on Spain generally just being able to cater for the amount of tourism it usually gets that it's a little frustrating sometimes that we do seem to have taken things really slowly, but it makes perfect sense. They cannot afford for this to go wrong.
No.
Because if come June we've gone a bit too crazy and we have to lock down again, I mean that literally is tragedy for a lot of businesses and families here. So yeah, we're getting there. It's really good. I think that a lot of people have asked us, like, so what's your vaccine rollout? That's the one thing that there's just no real news, is there? Like,
no, they're working on people that were born like 1961 and above or something.
So it's your 60-year-olds.
Yeah, they're still around there. I think they're at like 55-year-olds and stuff. They're trying to just cover that older population a lot right now. So yeah, there's not really any news. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, it is. On the more exciting and interesting stuff regarding things opening up, though, did you see Liverpool's event last night?
Oh yeah, I was like,
they had a gig.
Yeah.
You thought I was going to talk about football there?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Oh, I thought there was some kind of fan store opening.
No,
like,
the event that happened in Liverpool last night with 3,000 people.
I love it because people I knew it was happening like 2 weeks ago.
I knew that was happening.
And then people are commenting on the videos like, how
Do you
dare
know the Merseyside police had to put a statement out?
Oh yeah.
To say, thank you for the amount of people that have called in.
We know. Brilliant.
Like, this was a planned event. It was put in the media.
Put all those pricks on a list. Those ones who called in.
But that's what a lot of people are like. Can these people, like, these potentially are people that actually just need to get a grip. I'm sure that within that group of people that complained or called the police, there were probably a few people who maybe just genuinely missed that and were concerned. But on the whole, if I knew that that was an event that was going on...
They all got rapid tested on arrival.
Yeah. And
everyone was negative.
No one in there has the virus, and therefore...
My question is now, what happens? They've all left the event, mingle,
Well, that's it. But, well, I would actually like to know. Did they get tested on their... They can't be tested on their way out.
I'd also think, like, you'd almost want to eliminate things that could cause issues, like alcohol.
Which they didn't. There is footage of people having a very lovely time.
So, but that's the problem. So if they all now go out, like they finished at whatever time...
It wasn't a late event.
I think they did it on purpose.
I think most of the footage and videos I saw, it was daylight.
But that doesn't stop them then going to the pub.
No, it doesn't. And I think if you're right, if they properly wanted to do this, these 3,000 people...
Put them in a hotel.
They now need to be isolated and put in quarantine for a week to 10 days or something, and test them every 2 to 3 days.
Maybe that's what they agreed to.
And if they go, okay, we've now done 10 days and none of you caught anything from each other... then you've proven that can work. But you're right, if they've all now gone home, or to each other's homes, or to another pub, or to something that wasn't a legal party, and they've caught something there, then that actually sort of your data's now just sort of warped. So I'm sure that they must have done that. There's no way they did this, such a big planned event, only for then to all of the results to mean absolutely nothing because they didn't control what happened afterwards. But it was good to see.
Yeah, really, really good to see, and something that could work here. Like I said before, being in Amnesia car park, getting a rapid test, and then going in. Like, what a thrill!
Well, this is it. On paper, it makes sense that what they've done is they've got the island as it is now, where essentially this island is. You can almost say it's COVID free.
So let us party.
So if we can pretty much guarantee on the most part that right now on island there is no virus, and everybody who comes through the airport or through the ports has to have a negative test. But being an island, you can control it a lot more. And so if you use this entire island like that one event last night in Liverpool where you have to be tested to get in, then on island, you could do what you want, in theory. Go where you want.
Yeah. You can see my brain going and you're like, oh, she has so many arguments to this.
Well, I think there's always going to be arguments one way or another. And I'm not a big pro, we should just open up the borders. I like that Ibiza's taken things gently
my
and
thing
carefully.
right now is that if we can't sit inside a restaurant,
then
don't start letting people in and letting them party. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah. Well, that currently is the thing amongst residents, isn't it? That I just said the word residents. Is that there's so much talk and so much stuff in the media of British holiday makers have got the green light and the go ahead to go to Ibiza and blah 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 because their vaccine rollout's gone so well and they're doing really brilliantly. But they surely cannot start letting people in doing what they want when I haven't yet. If I can't go somewhere because I don't have a vaccine passport. Yeah. I want my vaccine and I want my vaccine passport because I don't want anyone having fun before me.
Yeah.
So
selfish.
That's it. Selfish reasons.
Yes.
Anyway, that's our COVID talk.
Yeah, I was going to say that went on longer than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah, sorry about that. But these are relevant. These are very hot topics. That's
hot topics.
We've just talked about.
Oh, that makes me think of Hot Pockets.
What was your favourite?
Do you ever put just like a ham and cheese? Did they used to do a ham
I loved a ham and cheese. I saw a thing the other day. You know those toasty makers that everybody had?
Like the triangle?
Everybody had and used...
Triangle?
A triangle? Everybody had one and used it non-stop for a month, and now it's at the back of their
I would love a toasty maker.
Because we'd use it today, and then we wouldn't use it again.
I used to put mashed potatoes and cheese in a toasty.
If people are ever wondering, why did you marry her? Let's just take that soundbite. I would put mashed potato and cheese in a toasty maker. Like, marry her. Okay.
Oh, I would make such better ones now. Like,
you really would.
As a kid, you're just
maybe
like
we need
beans and cheese.
Maybe we need. I say after the summer,
get toasty.
We invest in a.
Would you rather?
Okay.
A toasty maker or a slow cooker?
Oh, do you know what? It's like Sophie's choice. Because right now I want a toasty maker because I want mashed potato, cheese, little bits of bacon in there between bread. Yeah. But I do love the practicality of a slow cooker and I do miss having one. But we don't need either during the summer because all we do in the summer is we barbecue. That's all we do.
Yes.
And right now, breaking news, the sun is out and we are having a barbecue this afternoon.
My happiness levels since finding out that today wasn't going to rain all day have increased exponentially. Exponentially.
Again, Tiffany Bennett, professional writer.
I heard someone say it yesterday, so I'm
good with the words. Yeah, such hot topics. Now we're on toasty makers.
I love a toasty. What do you put in a toasty?
Right, if I had a toasty maker right now, it would just be.
Is there a bread emoji?
Cheese and ham. There is a bread emoji.
Send us bread. Just send us bread.
Just send us bread.
Physically.
Not the emoji.
Emoji.
Send us bread.
Okay, that's the emoji then.
Okay, bread.
Yeah.
Send the bread emoji. This week we became residents of Spain.
Good with words. We did indeed.
Our residency came through, Tiff. Congratulations.
Approved. What happened was, yesterday I was in the kitchen making chicken dippers, and I got a message from our Historia to say Matthew's residency has been approved.
Woohoo! Yours hasn't. Fuck off.
Then he was like, and then that was it. And then a couple of minutes later...
I bet that was a long few minutes,
he messaged again. It was 20 minutes. He messaged again and was like, I'm going through my notifications. I'll let you know if yours has come through. I'm like, what do you mean if?
That's really... Actually, I didn't know that.
Because we did it separately, because we didn't do it as a couple.
Yeah, well, he was just he was clever, isn't he? He's smart. He knows which is easiest, because you can do it as a married couple. But if you have enough money in the bank, it's actually beneficial to do it separately.
Yes.
Just because then you can be independent. And we luckily did. So it was worth it. It's interesting. I didn't know that had happened to you yesterday, where mine came through and then you waited. But that's what used to happen in Dubai as well.
That's because...
Yours used to get put through first, because it was just the way that it did. Yours always used to come through before mine.
I thought yours was first because you're more important.
No, it was always important to do, because I was the worker and therefore I sponsored you. Mine was always going to go through fine.
I was a housewife.
Yes, and so yours was always important to do first, in case they hit any bumps in the road, that they could just sort of overcome them. Obviously, they never did, because we had Apple doing it for us and we never had to think about it. But it used to be the other way. I used to get the update to say, Tiffany's visa has come through, here's her Emirates ID, and blah, 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 blah. And I'd always be like, okay, where's mine? And it would come through a day or so later. But
yeah, so in the week we are popping to town to get our cards, our actual residency cards. I've got the paperwork, temporary sheet until the cards come through. And then we're going to have a little lunch to celebrate. And yeah, then we are Residentes.
We are Residentes.
Congratulations, only 8 months later.
It took 8 months. I was thinking, I was going to look back at our moving to Ibiza videos.
Well, the vlog will go up on there.
Yeah, we are going to do one final moving to Ibiza vlog where the residency ends. We didn't think it would be 8 months later, but I remember that we did a video when we were staying in that Airbnb in Figueretas, where at that little dining table we talked about, well, this is what you need, this is what we're handing over.
Very informative.
We were very informative. And a lot of people have reached out to us going, how's that all gone? Are you guys, what's happening? And it's we literally did just get told, just wait. It will go through. You just need to wait. So if there is anybody listening who has gone through the same process, because I do know that there's some people sort of on island and things, we handed our stuff in August 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 months later.
We got approval yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations with residents. I'm adding unnecessary pluralisms.
Yes.
Is pluralisms a word?
I don't know, are you okay?
I don't know. Well, I've had half a Cañas. See, this is the thing. It makes you happy.
What else you got?
We've talked about that. Do you know what? Without even just cutting to his question time and stuff, I'm just going to go into the things that I've been sent through.
Okay, go ahead.
This is an old question. This came from John, and he sent it a while ago after the episode where we talked about how much I love Guardians of the Galaxy's soundtrack, and you were like, I prefer Iron Man's soundtrack. Anyway, following your chat about those soundtracks, who or what would be your ultimate artist/playlist for barbecues and dinner parties?
Well, then they're very different. if you're having a barbecue or a dinner.
Okay, let's do both. So, you're having a barbecue. Who is your ultimate artist, album, or playlist?
Jamiroquai.
Can you imagine if you could have Jamiroquai live at a barbecue?
Yeah, that's a full band setup. But yeah, the High Times album, thanks very much.
Okay.
Very easy.
All
That's
right.
a great album.
Just that?
High Times, yeah.
That's the best of, isn't it, High Times?
Maybe?
It was a best of, but then they've released more albums since.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And then
Dinner parties?
well, it depends whether the dinner party's themed, because we did do a Mexican night once and we had mariachi band.
We did have a mariachi band.
If it's not themed, do you quite like a little bit of jazz?
I do like a bit of jazz.
Or I like a bit of
a dinner
just
party.
chill.
I always think of dinner parties. Dinner parties have to be evening based. It has to be dark, I feel.
Yeah.
If it's daylight, it should be a barbecue. If it's dark, it's dinner party. Now, when it becomes dark, I think that you should be drinking red wine.
Yes.
I feel as if the room should be smoky,
there's candles.
even if nobody's smoking.
There's
I feel as
candles,
if there
for
should be
sure.
smokiness. And for me, that means there has to be jazz.
Yes.
I like a bit of blues, a bit of piano.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Are you playing?
I could play.
Yeah.
Just a little in the background.
Yeah.
But today we've got a barbecue today and we've got some friends around. We're just going to be putting on like an Ibiza playlist. Just
keep it simple.
Ibiza Beach Club. You won't even know what the songs are. There's just that generic, chilled dance kind of music vibe, and that's just good to have on in the background. But I'm with you. If you could have a band or an artist for the ultimate barbecue background music, Jamiroquai.
Yes, definitely.
Can we make
I
that
might put that album on after this while I'm getting ready for the barbecue.
It's just good times. Well, it's high times. High times, isn't it? So, 50% of our wedding playlist is Jamiroquai.
Yeah, was Jamiroquai because that playlist is gone as well now.
Yeah.
I've realised.
Thanks, Apple Music. I'm going to get rid of the cats that are outside our door.
Good. All right, cat's gone.
Cats are gone.
Lovely.
It's so annoying.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, what have you got? I've got. I think I've got a couple of would you rather's. That's all I've got.
Go on then, ask away.
Cake or biscuits?
Biscuits. The reason I'm saying biscuits is I feel, I know there was a long pause there, but that's because I was sort of tormenting myself with, well, you have to get rid of one of the others. Now, cake is perfect for certain situations, but biscuits are far more versatile and pleasing. I could eat biscuits now, for example.
Would you eat cake? Oh,
But like...
so you can never have a birthday cake again?
We didn't have a birthday cake this year, love. We had a big biscuit.
Oh, you did as well.
So you can always, I've on birthdays before, instead of having a cake, I've had a tower of donuts. I think you can replace the need for cake in certain situations, but sometimes, like tea and biscuits.
You never have a Colin the Caterpillar. Talk about hot topic. Free Cuthbert. Go.
I couldn't actually keep up with what was going on with all that. It just sort of blew my tiny little mind a little bit that there was this much hoo-ha around a fucking chocolate caterpillar. I don't think I ever had a chocolate caterpillar.
You've never had a Colin?
I don't think... I've definitely eaten some, but I don't think I ever had one for my own birthday. I might be wrong, I'm sure.
Your parents shop at Marks and Spencer's. You bloody did. I bet you did.
I think it's still...
I would have been...
It's a relatively new thing, though, isn't it?
Fuck
Isn't
off.
Colin the Caterpillar relatively new?
Alright, I'm going to have to ask Google. When did Colin the Caterpillar come out?
Just so you know, guys, this is how she Googles everything. Out loud and really slowly.
1990. The year... I share a birthday, a birth date, a birth year with Colin the bloody Caterpillar.
Well, maybe I did then, but I don't specifically... But the thing is, I think it used to be one of those things that you got because it's already novelty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be, maybe in that case, in the 90s and the early 2000s, it used to be the cake you got because your parents or your other half didn't have the imagination to get you anything else. And they're like, let's get...
15 million have been sold. Oh, lucky ducks. I bet so many people have had a Colin the Caterpillar.
I'd have one now. But I'm not replacing cake with biscuits because I think biscuits, to go back to the original question, are far more versatile and fit into more life situations than a cake.
Okay.
I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Would you replace
probably
biscuits with cake?
Nicely done. My next and final would you rather is from Tony Leone, who is on the Clubhouse. Would you rather live in Ibiza for the rest of your life, not being able to drink,
Okay.
or live in Scunthorpe until your last days and get pissed as much as you like? Disclaimer, nothing against Scunthorpe, I just like the name.
Scunthorpe's got that kind of name that makes it sound like it's going to be shit.
Scummy.
Like, again, no offence to any listeners in Scunthorpe. I've seen our
I've
analytics.
never been.
I know that we have thousands and thousands of listeners in sunny Scunthorpe. No, it's just got that name, hasn't it? I think it's just famous for sounding a bit shit. Yeah. Like Slough.
Slough.
It's just those words. It's nothing
Slough.
against the place, but it just sounds like it's not going to be great.
It's phonetically shit.
Phonetically shit, absolutely.
Good with words.
But could be in life wonderful. I don't know. I've never been to either. Ibiza without any drink, or Scunthorpe but drink away. Is that basically what we're
rest of your life?
Ibiza with no drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because actually, this is if you wanted to, and if that decision had to be made for me, and it's like that's what you've got to do, this is a wonderful place to get very hippie and clean and detox and become at one with your mind, body and soul and nature and stuff. So I'd just become I'd become a green, vegan, alcohol-free hippie in the mountains.
Why is it suddenly becoming alcohol-free make you a green hippie vegan?
Because I think it's a slippery slope. I think at that point...
Slippery slope to the vegan life.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. It's sort of like, that doesn't automatically make you that kind of person, but it would, I think, by being probably drink free for a while, you'd also become more conscious of how your body feels and how you feel in your head and stuff, and that might lead you down a path of also looking into detoxes and health and all sorts of things. So I'm not saying I would immediately go, well, if I can't have this beer today, that means I also can't have the wings that we're going to cook or the burgers we're going to cook, and I would like to meditate
I think
for 6
I might
hours.
divorce you.
But what I'm saying is, this is for the rest of my life. There's a good chance that that's the person that I could eventually become. Yeah. And I'm not ruling that out anyway. I mean, I'm going to die old and...
What can you put on the barbecue? Just vegetables?
Vegans like to put like a mushroom on don't they? And then they pretend that that's a burger. Sorry to any vegans that are listening. I have nothing against the vegan lifestyle. The more I look and read into it, the more I think actually vegans are probably doing the right stuff. But I'm just not ready for it. But also, don't convince me that a portobello mushroom is the same as a black Aberdeen Angus medium burger. You're just not being honest.
Literally drooling.
You're not telling the truth. So, but hey-ho.
Hey-ho. On the barbecue it goes.
Hey ho, barbecue we go. What is the perfect crime? This is a question from Tash a few weeks ago. What's the perfect crime? It's a bit of a thinker, I think.
Yeah, I feel like I need more time for that. Like, I'm like, like perfect crime as in, like, something really, like, ballsy. Or the perfect crime as in it's not really a crime, it's a crime, but it like brings good to other people, like Robin Hood or something.
I was thinking I was going down the Robin Hood kind of...
Or like, Ocean's 11, solid. That's a great crime.
Well, I think it says a lot about you if not you personally, but whoever's thinking is exactly what you said, is do you go down the path of, is the perfect crime to get away with anything that benefits you?
To get away with something really amazing.
So is the perfect crime I rob a bank and never get found out and no one ever tries to look for me?
I think it needs to be done it's not just robbing a bank.
Oh,
it's like
do it the way you do it.
Sneaky.
This is why you're thinking Oceans.
Yes.
So the perfect crime is also how it's executed.
Yeah, it's not about, I don't think it's about what they've actually done, it's the finesse of the crime.
Oh, okay.
Like if you look at Ocean's 8, which I bet hardly anyone's watched, which is the females.
Oh, don't get all
that
feminist
is a
on me.
perfect crime.
I bet no one's watched it because it's females.
No, because it took me ages to watch it, even though I love all of the Ocean's films.
It's a good film.
That's quite a perfect crime.
Okay. How you execute?
Because Anne Hathaway was in on it.
So if you're like a pickpocket,
Like in Focus.
In Focus.
Smashing
Some of the way that...
the one where he bets the Chinese guy... Is he Chinese? In the box, and like he's put all of those subliminal messages all day.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
incredible.
a perfect crime.
That is a perfect crime.
The perfect crime when,
This is a great question.
It is. Because I bet, like, some of the first things that people go to is like, well, the perfect crime, like you say, is like the Robin Hood kind of thing, is like stealing from the rich to give to the poor, because it's perfect. But it's perfect, you're thinking it's perfect because, well, it's doing good for others. But actually, I think we both agree here that the perfect crime is the artistry of executing of a perfect crime.
Yeah. Yep.
You're still guilty of a crime. You're still doing something you probably shouldn't do.
Definitely, a crime means you shouldn't do it. Love.
Yes, but you...
There's no wavy lines there. A crime's a crime.
But being able to execute it, really, you can't help but admire the perfect criminal.
Yeah.
So we're going to I would go with that scene from Focus.
Yeah,
but that's not a crime. What he did there wasn't a crime. He wasn't breaking any laws. He was betting.
Yeah.
But was it morally right that he sort of manipulated a person for a period of days, leading up to then, winning a bet? But interesting, good question though.
Very good.
Simple question, but some of these.
Tashu.
I don't know. I just wrote Tash.
Oh, good on.
And again, I apologise. This came through weeks ago. I keep them all banked. Another one here. This came through weeks ago from Diane. If you could get rid of 1 month of the year, which would it be? Yeah, I'm surprised.
That's a really good question.
No, I'm surprised it's taking you this long. I think this is fairly obvious. You can get rid of any...
March.
Why March? What's March ever done?
You don't want to get rid of January.
Yes, you do.
No.
So this is funny because you knew that the obvious answer was January, but you've not gone with it.
Because
Why?
January's a kickstart. I know it sometimes gets a bit shit, but that's because people make it shit.
So are you saying do you need the shit of January?
This January, the first thing we did was, in the first weekend, was have a roast dinner at our house with our friends.
True.
And
Start
we were
the
like,
year right.
yeah, so you don't have to... Everyone deprives themselves in January of stuff because they think new year, new fucking me, and they crack on with their little fitness regime, which I was also doing, but then I also had a Sunday roast and drank a bottle of Prosecco to myself.
Okay.
So, January doesn't always have to be shit. And think about January in Dubai. One of the nicest months.
The weather's beautiful.
Lovely weather. I'd get rid of March.
Okay, so
feels very in between.
You've defended January very well there.
I have no reason for getting rid of March apart from I'm not sure about February. I don't know. It feels in betweeny. What happens in March? Fuck all happens in March.
I'm trying to think actually. What does spring officially start in March?
When the clocks go back at the end of March.
You go forward.
Yeah.
Just trying to think
March is or maybe November.
October or November.
October here on a normal year is still very good.
Okay, so
November's it's those in-betweeny months.
Yes, it's not. So you don't take the months where you have your high highs or your low lows, your Decembers and Januaries.
You take your mediocre.
You take those ones where it's not really winter anymore, so it's not spring. It's not autumn anymore, but it's not quite winter.
Yeah.
November.
What's the point of November?
Fireworks night.
Oh, fuck off.
That's about it, isn't it?
Because Halloween's fun.
I'm with you here. Everyone in November is actually just counting down to December. Yeah. Everyone wants November to just be done so that they can open their advent calendar.
Unless it's your birthday in November, then probably not. But if you could move your birthday to another month, think about that.
You probably would.
Yeah, you probably would.
All right, leading on, next question from me. Are you happy with where your birthday is, or would you move it?
I like it because it's in Easter, so you sometimes get a big Easter holiday.
Yes.
And my birthday has been on Easter Sunday before, yours was this year. And so actually you get people that are happy to have a party or have fun because you get Easter Monday off.
I think a lot of people would quite aggressively defend where their birthday lands. I'm sure there are some people
unless it's in November or March.
Well, but they might say different. They may go,
do
you know what?
Defend yourself.
They might say, I love that my birthday's in March, maybe because nobody else's is in my family, and so March becomes about me. And so they wouldn't want to get rid of March. But I think it's funny that really doesn't matter where your birthday lands, but I think a lot of people would defend it, because I feel the same. There is no reason why April 4th is such a perfect, other than sometimes it lands in an Easter holiday, but that doesn't really make any difference. I like my birthday. I don't want to move it. You can't make me.
Okay, I'm not trying. How do you feel about our birthdays being so close together?
I like that our birthdays are close together.
All right.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I was just wondering, because I'm like, do you like the fact that the focus is split, or would you like more attention?
Do you know what?
Do you want some more attention?
What I like about it is we share it. We basically share it. We have a birthday weekend. And it also does mean that for then, 12 months, we can get over it and prepare for the next one.
Takes that long.
Because we can go a little bit crazy on our birthdays.
Don't know what you mean.
But can you imagine if my birthday's April 4th, yours is April 7th. So we do combine it. So but imagine if mine was April 4th and yours was end of May. Literally just as we're sort of getting over maybe like how much we've spent or what we've done or like anything for mine, we're already now preparing to do it again for you. And as much fun as that would be, and it's great, I kind of like that. And it also, we don't buy each other presents. We go, look, for our birthday.
Love.
I've got myself a tattoo.
What did I have? Did I get anything for my birthday this year? I have no idea.
I can't really
I don't
remember.
think
I didn't buy you anything.
No, but like you got the tattoo.
I bought you a bottle of gin.
I was supposed to
I bought you a nice bottle of gin.
Yeah, I bought you a present. I did you. Oh well, you had me bottles of many things, and I bought you the bottle, the decanter.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
I don't actually think I ended up buying myself anything for my birthday.
Well, you should.
I am. I'm going to get some new piercings.
Oh, you are. Yes, you're going to go get your ears done.
Yep.
Lovely.
But
no, I like that we share, because we tend to just sort of do a big blowout together. It's our birthday, and that that works.
Yeah, it works for us.
Final question, and I have to put this in because it came through this morning. Completely unrelated. Do you guys like drone footage and using it? This was from Byron.
I like it being used. I don't like the drone being flown.
No, you don't.
Leave.
People would have seen that on our first staycation vlog, I took the drone out. It's the first time since we got here that I got the drone out. And I do love flying the drone. And I think drone footage just adds something to videos. And you see the world and the places that you are from a different perspective.
Yes.
But I should fly it more, but I can't fly it if you're around, because you just panic the minute it's in the air.
It's going to hit something. We're going to lose it.
Do you think that's born out of the fact that the first time we crashed the drone, you were flying it?
Probably.
And we got stuck in a tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been traumatised by that, and now you never want to fly it again.
Well, I just don't like it being flown, and because you're really confident with flying it really low over a swimming pool or really close to people, I'm just like, so I leave.
Yeah.
You should just go out one day and get like some great drone stuff.
Maybe I will. I'll go out on like a coastal walk or something and just go fly the drone on my own a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I do love it. That was from Byron, who I know does a lot of photography and follows us.
Lovely question.
Watch this space on our YouTube videos as we start to do more again. Maybe I'll get it back out.
Yeah, I think obviously like people ask us about YouTube videos and stuff, and then maybe this is a good little point to end on. We're very kind of monotonous day on day, so we don't want to do like daily vlogs or stuff that is boring. And we don't have any content to make. So when we do something, we will vlog. Like we're wrapping up our moving to Ibiza playlist with the last vlog. And like if we end up going somewhere and actually doing something, if we go to an opening or whatever, then we will vlog it. And we might vlog Pikes. It won't be a daily, I don't think. No. But it might just be like a...
Back at Pikes.
Back at Pikes, maybe an edit from the whole weekend. Like just something to music. That we don't even have to talk.
Yeah.
And we will do stuff. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to end on that.
We've always said, we said it on last week's podcast, we would rather make nothing than make boring stuff for no reason.
For sure.
Like, we have never been, like, we don't see what we make as our jobs. And the minute it does feel like it's a job, like we have to do it, then it stops being fun for us. But also, I don't think we would make good stuff. I think what people like seeing and hearing from us is us enjoying ourselves and doing something different. And so there's a good chance, as you say, that as we go into the summer and more things open and we start to go to more unique and new things, that it will happen. But the day-to-day, nobody wants to see that we get up, do a bit of work, go to the gym, lie on the side. Well, people probably do actually, but we don't have fun making that, and so it's not. You're not going to see us at our best, so we're not going to do it.
Exactly.
And that is a great way to end a very good podcast.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Please remember, everybody, we have an email address. What is it?
Oh, fuck's sake. The mntpodcast@gmail.com.
Send us anything. I want that to be filled with crap.
And then, because you're going to have it on your phone, but I've got too many emails on my phone.
The way I envisage is that going into the next season of the podcast is, instead of us answering questions from people, maybe we'll ask a question and that people will send through their, well, actually, here's what I would say. I would rather cake over biscuits for this reason. And they can email it through. I want to see stupid shit just landing in that inbox all the time.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the end of episode 46.
Well done.
We're now going to go prepare for a barbecue.
Yeah, I've got shit to do. Let's
go. And we will see you next week.
Okay then.
Bye.